Believe. Become. Powered by passion. Driven by determination. Believe. Become. Be strong. Be Dr. Roy Cape.
I have a lot of cherished moments. Playing at the New Orleans Jazz Festival with David Rudd and Stalin. Playing at the Helsinki Jazz Festival. Going to Carifesta in Cuba. But one of my happiest days and calm days is when Yui had conferred the honorary doctorate. These are things that I had never visualized. As a musician, and like I would say today, I would hope that, as we would say it in the street, I am a pointer. So I would hope like things like this, what has happened to me, would be the beginning of the visibility one more time of the musicians. In 1977, I came back to Trinidad. I met Beaver Henderson, who was associated with SEM Studio, which was on Mucurapo Road. And we made a relationship, and I started working in the studio with Beaver. Beaver had a lot of work. He had influence in getting commercial and all that. He had worked and had his thing in good grips. Matter of fact, that band was named TNT Rainbow. We did Poser Road March in 1979 Final Party. We did Shorty album with Shanti. We did Explainer album, Positive Vibration with Ras Mas and Kicks in Parliament. We did a couple songs of Grego, but I was all playing in the tent while we had this band. And by 1981, William Monroe had asked me to run the band in Kingdom of the Wizards, Calypso tent. And I brought the band into Kingdom of the Wizards, Calypso tent. He had built where Spectacular was on Henry Street. And after a couple years of building the building, things went wacky, where he had put out a lot of money, and the money didn't probably come in to his expectation, and because he was doing grand things, and he offered more earnings to everybody. And when he left then, I had worked with Claude Martino, because he used to play guitar. So one of my early bands, when I was 16 years, he was the guitarist in the band, so I had known him, so we already had a sort of relationship. So I worked there for 12 years. That today's history then. In there we did, in the early days was only Sparrow and Marionettes used to be in concert at Queen's Hall. In those days with Spectacular, you had David Rudd in concert, Stalin in concert, the Four Doctors in concert, and a whole heap of concert. Plus they were bringing Foreign Grove, they brought Kool and the Gang, where we played with them in the Savannah, and Nelson, Explainer, and Chalkless. The people were so receptive to them. Although we were on a show with the great Kool and the Gang, and this made Spectacular, brought Nelson in concert. And Nelson was held on for almost 2 months every weekend. It was just going like this, because the people was coming out. So a lot had been done there. But I wasn't satisfied, because like in the tent, it would have been Spectacular band led by Roy Cape. That couldn't do anything for me after Carnival then. And well, I guess the tent management would have always been protective, because they feel if I Roy Cape and I get to be a star, they may not have me anymore then. And during that period, I did 3 concerts with Stalin in Sparrow Hideaway. And when I saw the poster, I see Roy Cape, Kaiso All Stars. So I have to say thanks to Leroy that he is the one who really made up my mind for me. He said to me, we are friends X amount of times now and I'm watching you, and if you're not taking care of yourself, I'm going to do it when I see the poster. Because I was concerned how my musician brothers would have felt about me being the band leader, because I was always on that side and the band leader was here. So I knew, even while I was running, what you would say my own thing, I was aware of all the problems that the musicians had, because I was on the next side. And I was one of the revolutionists on the next side, because I was always agitating for better conditions for us, you know, and for us to be happy with what we're doing then. And well, that was the birth of Roy Cape, Calypso All-Star. 1989, I was offered to work on the road. I went and played with Wayne Barkley. And by 1990, I realized if I have to compete with Chandelier and Song Rev and Charlie's Roots and Groove Entails, I had to leave the Calypso tent and come out. Some of the guys were concerned that we were leaving somewhere where we had a guaranteed salary to know what we're going out to. But I had already also done my little survey and find out what was the money the band getting and all that. And the bands, what we were working for, when you tally it up at the end of the week, they were working for that in one night. So I had already seen a certain picture. So when I got the opportunity to go with Kiss Kitty Caravan, I went. I had Marvin and Nigel at that time, and I couldn't get them in the tent, so I worked out for them from my earnings to give them a little weekly salary. Because if they weren't, it's hard to get back then, and we realized that they had talent. And the tent went for 1 year. And the next year, I lost a lot of money because the show was a show for stadium. We didn't have much stadiums here, and how much show you could do in Skinner's Park, or how much you could do National, or how much you could do in Arima. It was only but so much. So he didn't used to have work every night. So the manager at the time was Gary Dorr. He booked me out to Mr. Monroe. And Byron Lee said to them, "What don't worry about me, look all the worries on the stage there." My first party I had with Wayne Barkley, I had no singers. I came with 8 Calypsonians. Mudada, Explainer, Skunta, Valentino, Stalin, Tuggy, all my friends then. So, from about, I would say, this band is 36 years old. I have one musician in the band, Arnold Poulet, Aka Sly. He's in the band 29 years. And the numbers goes from there, 29, 20, 25, 24, 20. We had more going and coming from the singers. The musicians would leave one every so often. And then the way how we operate too, a guy come back next 2 years, and that space he could come back in the band. Because we are humans and we all make mistakes. I make mistakes myself. I try to correct it very quickly. Because in this, every misstep you make, backwards, it's about 3, you take it.
Let me get another take. Jam the music, Mr. Cape. This jamming cannot escape.
B. Dr. Roy Cape. Believe. Become.